Hello everyone, and we are in week 39, well, the end of week 39, nearly week 40. I'm just doing this week's poinsettia update, so sorry about the noisy tracks in the background, but everyone's farming like mad around here at the moment. But yeah, everything's looking good. You know, we've come to the end of week 39 now, which is the first week of short days when, you know, these start to realise they need to start initiating some sort of flower, well, bracts even, and some scythia. But yeah, I was told if they were looking sick, they might start looking a bit sick this week or next, and if they, you know, still look lovely and green and healthy, then that's a fantastic sign. And I didn't quite agree that, you know, the size of these, and there doesn't look to be anything unhealthy about them at all. They all look lovely and green, not been overwatered, really kept an eye on the watering this week. Only water in the mornings, whereas sometimes when we're desperate we water at night. But yeah, we've had to take probably 20 of these big pots out, because I don't know if you can sort of see the if I sort of put my hand against that there, I'm sort of put my hand over the camera as well. That there is one pot there of you know, they are absolutely enormous. So yeah, they were really growing into each other, and whereas now we're getting, I wasn't quite getting the height that I wanted, but if you look at the pot, we are, that is absolutely perfect. These are going to be massive. Bearing in mind that's a 5 litre pot, they're absolutely enormous. They've done really well. That's all the Saturnus range, so Saturnus red, white and marble, and they're really good. I mean, this is just two. We had two, for whatever reason, red left over. I mean, look at the size of that. The red is much more vigorous. I mean, that is enormous. That's just 2 red plants in there. I'm sure that'll be absolutely spectacular when it comes into colour. Here are red again. We've had to, you know, take some out of these because they're just growing together, so we put some in. We've made some more benches in the other house, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, again, really big plants, looking really nice, you know, good. You know, this growth regulator has really worked well. You know, we can see we're, you know, 6, 7 bracts, in some cases 8, all up to the top. So yeah, again, and Leona, it's Leona white, again, fantastic white variety. If anyone's thinking about growing this, I'd definitely recommend. In Beacon Camp's range, I think there's only 2, well, I think there's 2 original whites and a couple of experimentals. I've only done the ones, you know, with proper name varieties out of the catalogue, and say Leona white is just, it's a 3 litre pot. Look at that, it's absolutely fantastic. We've just hit, I don't know if you can just see just slightly stretching a little bit far apart on the top, you know, the top branches. So we just hit them because we've had some really good weather. So we just put a light mist in this, the final misting of a little bit of cyclocell on these and on here red as well, because we sort of see they're starting to get a bit taller in places. Everything else we've not, actually no, we've hit robin red a little bit as well, because again we want to keep them just a bit more shorter and compact. So they're looking really good. This is Aries red, again 3 litre pot, fantastic. Cyclocells work perfect. We've got 7 or 8 branches up to the top. You know, it'll be 7 or 8 bracts. There's obviously some smaller ones, but even the smaller ones, I mean, look at that, it's still a really bonny plant. So, you know, yeah, great. A bit of a, you know, you see the slightly more unevenness in sizes in some of them now, but yeah, no, looking really good. Probably the most disappointing for pot size is Leona red, because we've done it in all the recommended pot sizes, the maximum recommended pot sizes, and Leona was recommended for 3, but in all honesty I don't think I'd have done it much past a 2 litre pot, 14 centimetre. you know, it's just not quite the size I'd hoped. There's our experimental one at the back there, looking like a tree. No pinch at all, just a massive stem that's nearly as thick as my thumb. And we did hit it with growth regulator numerous times, but as you can see, there's tiny little some tiny little branches there, but you know, nothing that's going to make any impact. It's just going to have one massive bract on the top, I think. But that was done in Leona anyway. So moving along, zoom back out again. This is Saturnus marble. You know, looking really quite good. Again, bit uneven in size, but really not that bad at all in comparison to the last few weeks. I'll be intrigued because you can sort of see the marbling, especially this last week, coming out in the stem. I don't know if you can see, like, the underside of the stem is pink and the top is green. So you know, you can really tell that these are definitely a marble now, you know, whereas it didn't really have this earlier on. But these we're not sure on. There's about maybe 10 of these between the triple pots and these 2 litres, which have just got all red stems and have from the beginning. So what colour they come out, don't know. Maybe a sport, possibly, but we'll see. Before they go for sale, I'll make sure I get plenty of pictures of whatever they turn into. So that's all marble, so I can definitely tell them apart now. And the white, you can see the sort of the height difference between the marble and the white, really much. You know, these are out of the, you know, the 2 name varieties in the catalogue. I mean, that one, it's not a bad size. You know, it's nice and bushy, very V-shaped. But then we've got quite a few, unfortunately, that's sort of like this size, which is really, you know, supermarket size, which is not what I wanted at all. So I think if there was varieties I'd drop, it would probably be Leona Red and Saturnus White, only grown as an individual. Saturnus White mixed into pots of, you know, 2 or more, excellent, really, have done well, but on their own, not so sure. These are really the runts off Astro Red, but even so, look at that lovely bonny plant. Most of the bigger stuff's a little bit down the end of this greenhouse, mixed in, and in the other now, just to make space. Midi hot pink slowed down really this week, but still, you know, it's as big as some of the white Saturnus white poinsettia, some of them bigger. So yeah, really looking good. Look forward to seeing what they look like. This is dark pink now, poinsettia dark pink. Again, we've had to take some out because, I mean, look at the size of that. Massive plants, considering I was told they're virtually a miniature. You know, I mean, as I say, again, I'm pretty sure if I held some of those against Saturnus White, you know, especially likes of that one, you know, you'd get some much bigger. But yeah, so we've had to take again a few more out of these because and stick them in the other house, because again, they're just growing too big. And pretty much the same with pearl. I'd say if you wanted to grow, you know, a poinsettia, a white poinsettia for early sales, poinsettia pearl with a very light pinch later on. I mean, look at this. That's a 6 inch, 15 centimetre, 1.5 litre pot, and they are mega. No PGR, but why did you need it? It's bushy, sturdy, absolutely fantastic, and an oodle of bracts on the top. There's loads, so there's going to be a good array of colour on those. Some even taller towards the middle as they've been spaced later, but you know, still nice and bushy. Better canopy, I'd say. You know, these are bigger. These poinsettias are bigger than a lot of supermarkets poinsettias. Really are good. Indian red, however, I'd probably cut that next year, to be honest. It's a fantastic foliage. You know, it's only getting better, really.